Breaking news. The Chargers front office is sharpening the axe, and some familiar offensive names could be on the chopping block for the 2025 season. Stay with me because what happens in the next few months could reshape Justin Herbert's supporting cast and the entire AFC picture before a single snap is played. Justin Herbert's job is rock solid, so let's skip the suspense there. The real drama sits behind him. Taylor Heinicke, the steady veteran. Coaches trust his pocket poise, quick reads, and calm voice in the huddle. Right now, he holds the inside track to QB2. Trey Lance, the wild card. Big arm, big upside, but an even bigger contract. Unless he flashes clear growth in camp, that salary could push him straight to the cut list. The next 4 weeks may decide his future in powder blue. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Rookies report on July 12th, and that's when the real competition kicks off. Quarterback battle. If Lance can't show consistent timing and command, the Chargers may stick with one experienced backup and spend the extra roster spot elsewhere. Cap crunch reality. Front office math matters. Cutting a high-priced reserve frees cash for late summer signings at wide receiver or the offensive line. Locker room chemistry. Of veterans respect Heinicke's work ethic. If Herbert needs a sideline sounding board, that respect could tip the scales. Bottom line, every throw in camp is now an audition. Preseason jitters? Forget them. Jobs and millions of dollars are on the line. Keep it locked right here. I'll be at practice with a sharp eye and straightforward updates so you never miss a twist in this roster drama. The countdown to kickoff is on, and Chargers football is just around the corner. The team will hit the field this month, Chargers versus Lions, and the pressure couldn't be higher, especially for one quarterback fighting to prove he belongs. All eyes are on Trey Lance. After a rocky rookie camp, questions are starting to mount. Has he shown enough to secure a spot on this roster? So far, the whispers from inside the building aren't exactly glowing. Lance was brought in with high hopes, but hopes alone don't win jobs or justify big contracts. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. DJ Uiagalelei is making noise in camp. He's younger. He's cheaper. And according to sources close to the team, he's looked sharp, really sharp. Remember, DJ was once one of the hottest quarterback prospects in college football. Injuries and a bumpy college journey may have dimmed his spotlight, but now, under the Chargers coaching staff, he's quietly climbing the depth chart. And let's be honest, if DJ continues to outshine Lance during preseason reps, the Chargers front office might make a cold but calculated move, cutting Lance and stashing DJ on the practice squad. It's a tough business. Contracts, performance, and potential all clash in this quarterback battle. And behind Justin Herbert, there's no room for error. With Heinicke likely locked into the backup role, it may come down to this. Is Trey Lance worth the cost, or is DJ the smarter bet for the future? We'll find out soon enough. But one thing's certain, every rep in camp could be the difference between making the team or cleaning out a locker. Now let's shift to one of the most unpredictable battles in training camp, the Chargers running back room. This year, it's not just about who runs the fastest or breaks the most tackles, it's about who can do everything. And right now, Kamani Vidal is turning heads. He walked into camp noticeably bigger, stronger, and more prepared. Last year, critics slammed him for his weakness in pass protection, but this year, he's shutting that narrative down. Insiders say he's showing improvement in blocking drills and making a strong case for a breakout season. If he keeps this up, it could spell the end of the road for Hassan Haskins. Haskins does bring value, especially on special teams, but he's not the only one fighting for that final roster spot. Enter Raheem Rocket Sanders, the undrafted free agent that nobody saw coming. He's powerful. He's explosive. And there's real buzz around the building that Sanders is quietly forcing his way into the conversation. Chargers scouts reportedly had a draftable grade on him, meaning he was good enough to be selected late in the 7th round. The fact that he went undrafted? A steal for LA. Now, here's the dilemma. Haskins has the experience and special teams grit. But Sanders? He's hungry, cheaper, and might offer more upside. This could all come down to preseason performances. One missed block, one fumble, one standout run. That's how thin the margin is. And if Sanders shows he can hit, block, and contribute on special teams, he just might leapfrog Haskins and secure a spot on the final 53. It's a crowded room. But that's exactly what makes this battle so thrilling. Could the Chargers actually carry 4 running backs this season? At first glance, it sounds a bit wild, but the more you look at this roster, the more it starts to make sense. Let's be clear, Raheem Sanders wasn't just any undrafted rookie. He came in with a $50,000 guaranteed contract, a rare move for a player who wasn't selected in the draft. That kind of commitment from the front office sends a loud message. They want him here. And if Sanders impresses in camp and preseason action, don't be surprised if the team keeps him alongside Kamani Vidal, who's showing real promise, and veteran special teamer Hassan Haskins. The odds may be slim, but the door is definitely open. Sometimes the roster numbers bend for players who prove they belong. Now let's talk about a twist in the backfield. The fullback situation. Yes, we're talking about Steo Klotz, a name that's popped up more than expected in camp reports. He's shown solid potential, but the real wild card is Scott Matlock, listed as a defensive lineman, but used heavily on offense last season. In fact, Matlock may have had more offensive snaps than defensive ones. That versatility makes him incredibly valuable. If he can continue to pull double duty, the Chargers may not need to carry a traditional fullback on the 53-man roster. That could push Steo to the practice squad, where he provides depth without burning a roster spot. And let's be honest, how many teams truly use a fullback in today's NFL? Still, Steo has flashed enough to stay in the conversation. If he keeps showing out in camp and proves he's more than just depth, the Chargers might be forced to reconsider. But for now, the smart money says this team leans on Matlock's versatility and saves the fullback slot for emergencies. Bottom line, between Sanders' upside and the fullback chessboard, the backfield battles are far from settled. Expect surprises. Let's talk about one of the most crowded and competitive rooms in Chargers camp, the wide receivers. Right now, there are 11 wideouts fighting for just a handful of spots. Last year, the Chargers carried 6. But this time around, that number could shrink, especially with roster flexibility tied to the tight end group. Translation? Not everyone is making it out of camp. Names like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnston are safe. They're locked in. But after that, it's a full-blown fight for survival. One of the most intriguing names in that battle is Brendan Rice. On paper, he's got the bloodline and the tools. But last season, injuries kept him sidelined, and that's a problem. Because in the NFL, availability is everything. You can't prove your value from the trainer's room. Unless Rice puts together a strong, healthy preseason, his best-case scenario might be a spot on the practice squad. And that's only if the Chargers don't risk losing him to waivers. Then there's the wild card, Jalen Reagor. Many didn't expect him to be brought back. But here he is, under contract and back in the mix. Clearly, the coaching staff sees something worth investing in. Maybe it's Sanjay Lal's belief in his potential, or perhaps Greg Roman sees a role for him in this offense. Either way, Reagor isn't just a camp body, he's a serious contender. Still, the numbers don't lie. With this much competition and so few spots available, some names with talent and experience are going to be left out. The front office will have tough choices to make, and it won't just come down to who catches passes, it'll be about who can contribute on special teams, show up in blocking assignments, and stay healthy. Bottom line, the wide receiver battle is loaded with pressure, surprises, and potential heartbreak. Someone's dream will end this summer, but someone else's might just begin. Tyler Conklin isn't just another depth signing, he's a two-way chess piece who blocks like a guard and catches like a slot receiver. Think of him as the reliable hybrid Hayden Hurst was supposed to become before injuries derailed Hurst's season. Pair Conklin with Will Disley a mauler in the run game and Tucker Fisk a pure blocking specialist, and you suddenly have 2 heavyweight guardians of the edge plus a new weapon who can slip out on play action and move the chains. But the real wild card, the name quietly buzzing through meeting rooms, is rookie Oronde Gadsden too. On the roster sheet, he's a tight end. On the field, he looks like a jumbo wide receiver running choice routes all afternoon. His size creates mismatches against corners, yet his agility forces linebackers into panic. If Gadsden continues to flash, the Chargers could afford to trim a receiver slot, dressing 5 true wideouts instead of 6 and using Gadsden as a sneaky sixth option who slides between positions. Why that matters for Rieger and Rice. When you subtract a receiver seat to make room for an extra tight end, the bubble gets brutal. Rieger still intrigues the coaching staff, but his contract and inconsistent production leave little margin for error. Rice, meanwhile, has the talent but must prove he can stay healthy long enough to showcase it. The equation is simple. 3 blocking plus tight ends Disley, Fisk, Conklin. 1 move Titan / oversized receiver Gadsden. 5 Lockett and wideouts, with every special teams snap under a microscope. That leaves Rieger and Rice battling not just each other, but also a roster philosophy that values versatility over redundancy. Training camp reps will decide the story, but as it stands today, the tight end room is rewriting the playbook, and at least one household name at receiver may pay the price. When you look at Oronde Gadsden too, forget the tight end label next to his name, because what the Chargers have is a big-bodied slot receiver in disguise. In college, Gadsden mastered the art of finding open space. He wasn't just running cookie-cutter routes, he was slicing through defenses, exploiting zones, and becoming a security blanket across the middle. Seam routes, soft spots in coverage, he found them all. And now, the Chargers plan to unleash him in the slot, where his size and awareness give him a serious edge over smaller defensive backs. Unlike Will Disley or Tyler Conklin, who'll grind in the trenches, Gadsden is designed to attack from the outside in. He's not here to block edge rushers. He's here to move chains, break tackles, and become a mismatch nightmare. And that's where things get interesting. If Gadsden continues to outperform expectations and wideouts like Jalen Rieger and Brendan Rice struggle to stand out, then the front office may make a bold move. Keep Gadsden as a hybrid threat and cut down the receiver count. Because why carry an extra wideout when you've got a tight end who runs better routes and brings more versatility? Make no mistake, Gadsden is not a one-trick pony. He brings multiple dimensions to the offense, and that could end up pushing some bigger names off the roster. If you're looking for a sleeper pick, someone who comes out of nowhere and makes a real impact, this is your guy. He has the tools, the role, and the moment. Now, it's about execution. We'll shift to the defense soon, but with rookies reporting on the 12th, things are just getting started. Camp battles, roster cuts, surprise stars. All of it is about to unfold. Stay tuned.